Hello everyone, Ember Power here, and welcome back to a new deck profile. This one, I'm going to be taking a look at probably my favorite budget deck to play right now in Standard, and that's actually going to be Wishiwashi. So Wishiwashi came around in Evolving Skies, so quite a while ago now, but it still consistently surprises me with how good this deck is just to play casually on the ladder, and the amount of wins it racks up is pretty impressive. So Wishiwashi, 30 HP seems absolutely terrible. Rapid Strike, not really relevant in this deck, although we do actually play another Rapid Strike Pokemon, so if you wanted to play Rapid Strike supporters, I guess that would be a good idea. But still, Rapid Strike not really doing much for Wishiwashi. But yeah, 30 HP is abysmal, but it does have the amazing ability Group Power that says if this Pokemon has 3 or more Water Energy attached to it, it gets plus 150 HP. So all of a sudden our basic Wishiwashi goes from 30 HP squishy to 180 HP if we get 3 Water Energy on there. And it does have a pretty good attack as well, Schooling Shot, that does 30 damage, and 30 more for each basic water energy attaches Pokemon. Or I should say 30 more for each basic energy, but we always use water, so it doesn't really matter too much in that regard. So the whole point of this deck is just to stack a bunch of energy on Wishiwashi and then swing big. And it's 180 HP, single price basic, that is doing massive damage, potentially getting 1-hit KOs, but typically we're just going to aim for 2-hit KOs throughout the game. So this deck is designed to be really cheap, so there's no Radiant Greninja. You can add it if you really want to, as like an alternate attacker and as a more consistent draw support. But mainly, we're going to be just using Frosmoth to accelerate energy with the ability Ice Dance that says, as often as like during a turn, you may attach a water energy card from your hand to one of your bench water Pokemon. So we can use Frosmoth to just accelerate a bunch of energy to Wishiwashi. And then after we've hit them like with a really big attack, we can then come in there with Basculin and use the attack Swarm the Wound for 2 energy, does 30 damage, and 10 more for each damage counter on your opponent's active. It's a pretty powerful effect, and it just allows us to take more efficient 2-hit KOs in most games. We also play 2 Jirachi, which does has the ability Dream Revelation that says once your turn, if this Pokemon is in the active spot, you may look at the top 2 cards of your deck, put one of them in your hand, and put the other card back on top of your deck. So this is like a nice little way of siphoning out cards. You could play Mew if you really want to, but I feel Mew's only really good if you play Scoop Net as well. But Jirachi, just nice budget alternative to most attackers and most draw engines, so definitely been liking the Jirachi. Supporters are pretty self-explanatory. I'm trying to steer clear of more expensive ones. That's why we have 3 Bruno, 2 Cynthia, 1 Karina's Focus, and then 3 Zinnia's Resolve, which allows us to draw a whole bunch of cards. Most people don't expect to see Zinnia's Resolve, so if you try and hold off until your opponent has, say, 4 or 5 Pokemon in play, that's when Zinnia's Resolve starts to get really strong. It just also allows us to discard Water Energy to draw a bunch more. So yeah, that's kind of like the main aspect of the deck. There is only 4 Wishiwashi and 1 Basculin. There's no Pokemon recovery, so it's kind of dicey in that regard. You could remove a couple of Water Energy to make way for something like a Rescue Carrier, potentially, or an Ordinary Rod, but I haven't needed it in games so far, so feel free to make of that what you will. But either way, this has been Ember Power. Thank you for watching, and let me know what you think down below. And yeah, thank you for watching.